guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Hero Show. This is the What's New in This Week section of the YouTube show. Obviously coming to you a little later than normal, bit of an interesting week delivery-wise, just with bank holidays, different bits and pieces, all the rest. It didn't come in until the weekend. I'm recording this on the Friday evening after locking up. We finally processed the delivery for this week. It essentially collects together the stuff that came out last week as well as this week. So it's quite a lot of stuff, as you can tell. So what I've got here is a selection of top-ups, a selection of some stuff I wanted to get back in, some new stuff, newly released graphic novels and so forth. Of course, you can find my pull list video elsewhere in the network, and that'll guide you through the single issue releases this week. But I'm just going to take you through, first of all, the graphic novel side of things. So quite a lot, as you can see. Big editions. We're going to kick things off with Black Hammer. So what we've got here, these are the two massive Black Hammer, what are called the library editions. So these are, this is a superhero universe done through Dark Horse Comics by Jeff Lemire and Dean Ormston. With this one, this is basically both volumes, and includes the entire run. This one's called The First Chapter, this is called The Long Way to Conclusion. And their library editions are essentially akin to absolutes or compendiums, that kind of thing, omnibuses. So nice big chunky bad boys. It's something I've personally never read. It's highly critically acclaimed, but it's just not something I've personally got onto just yet. Next up, continuing with the chunky hardcovers, we have the Halo Initiation Escalation hardcover. So this basically contains the first 3 issues of Halo Initiation, which was a 3-issue miniseries, and then the Halo series Escalation 1 to 12. This comes from a lot of the writers from the game, and again, this has again been blown up to a nice big massive hardcover, really very much a premium item for the Halo stuff. I'll be going through some of the Halo trade paperbacks in a moment, which are the slightly cheaper options. This is more your big deluxe sort of option. In terms of omnibuses, the one big one this week is definitely Daredevil by Charles Soule. Charles Soule was basically who was on the run after Mark Waid and then before Chip Zdarsky. I've said it before, Daredevil never has a bad writer on it, and this is no exception. As you can see, a massive chunky bad boy. You can see some of the artists involved: Ron Garney, Phil Noto, who has done the cover as well, Gordon Suzuka, who is working on Marjorie Finnegan at the moment with Garth Ennis. So a really good creator team there. You can just see just by the design alone, fantastic stuff. So yeah, very comprehensive. So it includes his Daredevil run 1 to 28. And then when it went to Marvel Legacy numbering, 595 to 612. Also includes a Daredevil Annual, a 4-issue Daredevil Punisher mini-series, and material from All New, All Different .1. I believe that was the introduction of Blind Shot. So yeah, brilliant. Omni, tempted by it myself. Stop it, Alan, you have enough omnibuses at home you haven't read yet. So next up, what I've got for you is a little selection of Ghost Rider graphic novels. I've always tried to run this store in a way, I may have said this before, but I always try to run it in a way where, based on what people are asking for or requesting, we'll try to get in. So someone had mentioned to me they're interested in Ghost Rider, so I decided let's try and get some Ghost Rider trades in. So a couple of different ones for you here. This was from the recent run by Ed Brisson, Aaron Cooter on art. This arc was called The King of Hell, which was then followed up by the same creative team working on Hearts of Darkness #2. So those are quite comprehensive wee story arcs. And then you've also got Ghost Rider 4 on the Floor. This is more the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider with this one. And then another sort of classic run we got in, which was The War for Heaven. So Jason Aaron working on this, Cy Spurrier. So that's a thicker, chunkier one. This contains Ghost Rider Danny Ketch 1 to 5, Ghost Rider 2006 run 33 to 35, and Ghost Rider's Heavens on Fire 1 to 6. So really good creative teams on that as well. Next up is a very highly acclaimed indie series. It's printed by Image Comics now, Joe Kelly and Ken Nomura. And this is called I Kill Giants. Now I believe this was adapted into a Netflix show, or Netflix movie I should say. I haven't personally seen the movie, but I have read the book, and the book is awesome. So to give you the idea, the blurb, I Kill Giants tells the story of Barbara Thorsten, an acerbic middle schooler who is convinced that a giant is coming to town, a giant she's sworn to find, hunt, and kill. As the monster draws closer and dark omens abound, the lines between Barbara's fantasy life and real-world problems become blurred, ultimately revealing a powerful and emotional truth. So this was the 15th anniversary edition of I Kill Giants. As I say, tons of Halo stuff this week. So first of all, we have Halo Rise of Atriox, so a new hardcover graphic novel made in collaboration with Microsoft and 343 Studios. With this one, you've got a ton of creators working on this: Cullen Bunn, Julie Hauser, Eric Wen, tons there, and that'll obviously link nicely to Halo 5. This one's an interesting one. This is very much urban magic. This is Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files. Now, this is not a series I'm too familiar with. I know I've chatted with Keith, for example, before, and he's a big fan. I see this as a new original story, so I think this might be a brand new 6-issue story called Ghoul Goblin. But it also includes sort of original series summaries, sketches, behind the scenes type stuff as well. So nice hardcover there. Halo Initiation for you here. So this is the lead into Halo Spartan Assault. So again, linking to the computer games quite a bit as well. So this was the 3-issue miniseries Initiation, which is in that hardcover, but it obviously has Escalation as well. Another one that I got in, which if I can put it all together here, there we go. So this is a series that I read back in the day. Makes it sound so old, but this is a series called Peter Panzerfaust. Think of the Peter Pan story, but done during World War II. So this is by Curtis J. Weeb and Tyler Jenkins. 5 volumes in total. It's just come back into print. This was sort of early 2010s. There was rumours of one point of a BBC adaptation, but I don't think it ever happened. But yeah, this is the 5 volumes of it. This is published through Image Shadowline and is great stuff. There is a wee a hardcover version of it as well that I may have snagged for myself, but don't tell Vicky. So yeah, Peter Pan's Faust, that's the 5 volumes of that back in stock and back in print. Next up, we have a collection of Star Wars linked to War of the Bounty Hunter. So this is the current Star Wars run done by Charles Soule. This is issues 12 to 18, so volume 3 of that Star Wars one. And again, that runs directly into the War of the Bounty Hunters miniseries. A couple of Image volume 1s back in stock. We're huge fans of that Texas Blood. We talk about it all the time. We recommend it all the time. If you ever listen to the podcast, you know, we've interviewed the writer and the artist on this. Huge fans, just some of the best noir work around. This is volume 1, so issues 1 to 6. And then we also have back in stock volume 1 of Ice Cream Man, which of course is the horror anthology from Dolly Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo as well. So on to the last pile. So first of all, we have a couple of Blade Runner trades coming up. We have volumes 1 and 3. I believe 2 is on the shelves. Blade Runner 2019, so the prequel to the current series, 2039. And yeah, this has been really good so far. Fully endorsed by the writers and director of the movie. Michael Green's writing these, Mike Johnson on art. Some great stuff in this. So there is, I've been enjoying Blade Runner myself. Another character we're always asked about all the time, obviously given the very good MCU movie, we have Black Widow. So again, I've got a few Black Widow trades in. So first of all, we have Black Widow Welcome to the Game. This is a collection of 2 different mini-series, which was Black Widow, the 2004 run, 1 to 6, and also Black Widow, The Things They Say About Her, 1 to 6. And I mean, you've got some great talent on this, written by Richard Morgan, drawn by Bill Sienkiewicz, Goran Parloff, and Sean Phillips. So great people working on that. We've got volumes of the current Kelly Thompson run as well, so and Elena Casagrande on art. So that's volume 1, which is simply just called The Ties That Bind. And then I'll come across it somewhere here. Volume 2 is here as well. It's at the bottom, I'll get to it. Next up, we have Getting It Together. This was an Image mini-series, 6 issues in total. Sorry, 4 issues in total, but 4 oversized issues. There are some backup stories as well that link into this as well. This seems to be for fans of stuff like Friends, sitcoms, you know, romantic entanglements, that kind of thing. It's another good example of how Image Comics present titles that it's not all just superhero stuff. They'll do like real life stuff as well. So for this one, I mean, you know, you look at some of the reviews with heart and humor galore. This modern Friends continues to engage and entertain. So pitched towards the audience for relationship drama / comedies. So yeah, that is a full mini series there. Speaking of Ghost Rider, I was also getting Cosmic Ghost Rider back in stock. So Donny Cates doing this one with Dylan Burnett on art. This was so much fun. This was a 5-issue mini-series. There's also some material from Thanos Legacy in here. This is worth it just because it's Cosmic Ghost Rider comes up with this idea that if he goes back and kills Thanos when he's a baby, none of the bad stuff that happens in the Marvel Universe will ever happen. But when he goes back in time and he's standing over the baby, he realizes, well, it's only a baby, I can't do that. But then there's this great panel where he just sort of goes, but then again, it just punches baby Thanos in the face. Very much a fun title, and 5 issues. Next up, we have Party and Pray. This is an original graphic novel from Aftershock Comics, from the team of Steve Fox, Steve Orlando, and Alex Sanchez. I don't know an awful lot about this, I must admit. It seems to be a title that's aimed very much at the LGBTQ crowd. So careful when looking for trouble. Trouble might find you first. Alan is used to being ignored by younger guys, so he hardly believes his luck when handsome Scott makes a move on him in a crowded gay club. But there's a wolf on the dance floor tonight and he's hungry for fresh prey. So it seems to be horror mixed with real life stuff as well. Next up we have Philadelphia. We're up to volume 3 of this, the Rodney Barnes, Jason Sean Alexander tale. Of course, cheap plug again for the podcast. Again, we chatted to those guys separately on there. Some of the best vampire stuff going around at the moment. For my money, the best vampire story since American Vampire, and certainly since the likes of 30 Days a Night. Again, we're continuing with some of the Halo stuff. So first of all, we have Halo Fall of Reach. This is written by Brian Reed, art by Felix Ruiz. This contains Fall of Reach, the entire saga. So you've got Boot Camp 1-4, Covenant 1-4, and Invasion 1-4 in that. We've got a couple of volumes of the individual Escalation as well. Volume 1, which concludes 1-6. And also we have Volume 4, which is 19-24. The Halo stuff just keeps on coming. We have Halo The Legacy Collection. So this one contains Halo Uprising 1-4, Heli Jumper 1-5, and Halo Bloodline 1-5 as well. I was very intrigued by the creative teams on this. You've got Brian Michael Bendis writing on this. You've got Peter David writing on this. Fred Van Lente. You've got art by Alex Malev, Eric Wayne, Francis Portela. So a real murderer's crew of great talent on that. So next up we have an epic collection for Spider-Man No More. So this of course is a very classic volume of Spider-Man. This includes issues 39-52. Issue 50 of course is where the Spider-Man No More comes from. You have the introduction of Kingpin in that one. You have Peter Parker walking away from the spider suit. So that is volume 3 in the epic collection stuff, and that covers material from 1966 to 1967 as well. Couple of volumes of Legend of Korra came in as well. So this is printed through Dark Horse Comics, of course, based on the Nickelodeon anime. With this one, you've got part 1 and part 3. Part 1, Turf Wars. Part 3, Ruins of the Empire. And I wasn't lying, there's the second volume of Black Widow. I knew it was at the bottom. So again, continuing on the Kelly Thompson and Alina Casagrande run, which has been great. So there you have it. So these are all going on the shelves before we close today. So they'll be on the shelves for Saturday if you guys are popping in. Of course, all pull lists are ready as well, ready for collection, and hopefully from next week we'll be back to a bit of normality. No bank holidays, no nonsense, but you never know, we shall see. Anyway, hope you guys are staying safe out there. Is ever anything okay to say, just get in touch. We can certainly hold things until you get down to the shop, or of course come in and have a nice wee browse around. The shelves are packed. So again, hope you're well out there, hope you're staying safe, and I look forward to seeing you in the store very, very soon. So take it easy.